Thank you, everyone. We're going to start momentarily. Give us about 2 more minutes, and I will have Tobias start the recording. Charity, actually, if you want to unshare your screen for a moment, and I'll have you start sharing before you're going to present.
Got you.
Tobias, you can stop recording for a second. I will start recording once. Give me about 1 more minute. Just want everybody to come in. Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us. Please feel free to turn your cameras on so Charity is not looking at these black boxes as she presents. Appreciate you all. Oh, of course. Thank you. No problem at all. Of course, of course, of course. Okay, it's 11:01. I guess we can go ahead and we still have a couple more folks kind of trying to join in here. Happy Wednesday, everybody. Happy weather being so cold. It was so mild on Sunday here in Baltimore, Charity, and then bam, winter said, I'm not through with you yet.
Is it snowing or is it raining?
It was supposed to snow, but it changed its mind, thank goodness, because I have a flight tomorrow to be down there where you are, of course.
Mhm.
So I'm happy about that. Just a few
Good.
more folks joining in. It's 11:02, so I'm going to go ahead and get started. Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining us and attending our Train the Trainer event today. My name is Ayana Jones. I am the ECA, Early College Awareness Director here at the CollegeBound Foundation. I've been here at CollegeBound for 11 years. Prior to CollegeBound Foundation, I worked in the financial aid department at Stevenson University. So about 3 years ago, we started hosting these Train the Trainer events for a couple of reasons. One, we wanted to make sure that as the landscape is changing so quickly year to year in college access, that across the greater Baltimore area, we are all on the same talking points and we're upskilling ourselves with the latest information to present to our students. We also recognize as well, though, that sometimes we are so entrenched in the work that we forget there's a whole community of folks out there doing the same work that really can come together and support one another. So that's the reason we started this. This was originally funded by a Weinberg grant, and that grant is ended last year. So this will be one of our final Train the Trainer, the final Train the Trainer event. And so happy to have Charity here with us. Is no greater person I would rather have here with us for our final Train the Trainer event other than Charity. I met Charity June of her senior year of high school. Charity is a true definition of grit. So I wanted to make sure that I give her an opportunity, our small platform here, to discuss what she's been doing. She's gone from student loans to fully funded in just 2 short years. So happy, Charity. Thank you again. I know you have classes. It's your junior year of college. So happy to have you here with us today. I'm going to definitely go on mute and allow you to go ahead and say a little bit about yourself and get started here with our presentation today.
Thank you so much. This is no small platform. This is a major platform and an amazing opportunity for me to share my journey from lonely to scholarship award winner. I'm going to share my screen now. Can you all see my screen okay? Perfect. Alrighty. So, good morning, everyone. Thank you all for being here today. I am Charity Fisher, a junior social work scholar at the illustrious Clark Atlanta University. And just a little bit more about me. I was born and raised in Baltimore City, Maryland. I grew up right down the street from Morgan State University. For high school, I attended Cristo Rey Jesuit High School, where, during my senior year, you get your acceptances, your financial aid packages, and unfortunately, I was only awarded two financial aid packages, one from an in-state university and one from Clark Atlanta University. And so I knew Clark Atlanta University was where I belonged because their motto was find a way or make one. And so that's what I did. I relentlessly pursued Clark Atlanta University. And in my relentless pursuit of Clark Atlanta University, my boss at the time, the director of Baltimore's Promise, Miss Julia, knew of my passions to go to Clark. And so she knew that I needed a little bit more guidance on my options. And so she connected me to Miss Ayana, as she said, during June of my senior year when I had already graduated. And from there, I was able to really create a genuine connection with Miss Ayana and to just witness the beautiful collaborative relationship that they developed in supporting me and empowering me towards pursuing college. And I just want to emphasize how important it is that we create communal ecosystems that young people can rely on when it comes to college readiness. And so, as a result of that beautiful collaborative relationship, I went from lonely to scholarship winner, and I became the first Voyager from Baltimore City to receive the Voyager Scholarship for Public Service. And I'm here on this call empowering you all to empower your young people, or if you are the young person, empowering you to pursue the scholarship. Because if you look at me, I just want you to know that you can do it as well. So this is just a little overview of what we'll be talking about, just the background information about the Obama Foundation, the program overview, hearing from me, a current Voyager, application information, eligibility and frequently asked questions, and then any additional questions you all might have for me. So about the Obama Foundation is guided by the core belief that ordinary people working together can change history and was founded by community organizers and community change agents who believe in bringing people together to inspire, empower, and connect people to change the world and their communities around them. That approach begins on the south side of Chicago, where they're actually building an Obama Presidential Center where it will be a world-class museum and gathering place to celebrate the United States' first African-American president and First Lady Michelle Obama, and to also incorporate that aspect of global work, whether it's supporting global initiatives or uplifting the next generation of public service leaders. As President Obama said, we cannot solve the challenges of our time unless we solve them together. So, program overview. The Voyager Scholarship Program is a 2-year leadership development and scholarship program. It offers a transformational combination of barrier reducing financial aid, an immersive work travel experience, and a robust network of leaders and mentors that Voyagers are able to tap into. The program identifies students in their second year of undergraduate studies who will be starting their third year in the fall of 2025. Over the course of these 2 years, there will be different programmings that Voyagers will be able to participate in, such as participating in leadership development activities, nurturing their sense of curiosity through participating in these breakout opportunities, and to overall deepen their sense of commitment to public service areas that they're passionate about. And so for the program components, I want to first pose a question to everyone on the call just to get a little engagement going. So feel free to come off camera, but if you're shy, it's okay. I want to ask you all, how much financial aid assistance do you think the Voyager Scholarship provides? And so a poll should have popped up on your screen with a few different options. I'll give you all a minute to respond and then I'll tell you. Okay, so I'm gonna go to the next slide because I'm itching to tell you all. Thank you for participating. Okay, so 38, oh, there was a few results, but I saw that 38% of us thought it was 25,000. There another 38% thought it was 50,000 and 25% thought it was 10,000. Well, to the 38% who said 50,000, you are correct. Voyagers who are selected will receive up to $50,000 in financial aid. So students will receive up to 25,000 per year in last dollar financial aid for their junior and senior years of college. So for example, Clark Atlanta University's tuition is 55,000. I was able to receive the full 50,000 dispersed among my junior and senior year. As for the summer voyage, which is the immersive work travel experience voyagers will be able to curate, they will receive a stipend of $10,000 in free Airbnb housing to pursue a work travel experience between their junior and senior years of college. The voyager selected will be able to design their own summer voyage to gain exposure to new communities and experience in a chosen field. During their junior year, Voyagers will also have the option to attend an in-person convening in Chicago, where they will engage in community building activities with fellow Voyagers who are also selected, Obama Foundation staff, and build their leadership skills and learn from experienced leaders in public service. This experience was amazing for me because I met more than 80 of the 100 selected Voyagers, and it was an amazing experience for me to be able to meet them, be inspired by their stories, and to be in a room with almost 100 like-minded people was an incredible experience because I finally was in a room where I felt like I was seeing myself reflected in people who even didn't look like me. So it was a beautiful experience. Another aspect of this amazing scholarship is the robust network of leaders and mentors that Voyagers are connected to. So this network of leaders will expose them to new areas of service and innovations happening either directly in their fields or in fields closely aligned. After graduating, Voyagers will be able to join the Obama Foundation's global community, providing them with foundation resources and programming. Another amazing aspect of this scholarship is the access to the 10-year travel stipend. After graduating, Airbnb will provide students with a $2,000 travel credit every year for 10 years, totaling to $20,000 to allow students to broaden their horizons and deepen their public service endeavors. So to get into the application information and deadlines, though the components of the application include a list and description of current and past public service experiences. So this is an opportunity to show off your volunteer activities or any other extracurricular activities you are a part of. This is the time to show off. So brag about all the amazing things that you've been doing during your high school experience and even college. A video answer submission prompt where you have just under 2 minutes to talk about who you are and show them your personality. So this is really the time to showcase your personality and not be afraid to show who you are. This is not the time to pretend to be something you're not because they will see through it. So just be your authentic self. There will also be short and long form essay questions focused on your vision for your public service path and how you plan to approach working with others to bring that vision to life. And also the financial information aspect. All applicants must demonstrate a financial need as calculated using a formula similar to FAFSA. For time zones, I'm going to pass it over to Miss Ayana so we can do a quick poll to keep some engagement going.
Yes, thank you, Tobias. If you can launch that poll, we do have a question for you folks. The Voyager application deadline closes. What is the Eastern Standard Time equivalent to 11:59 Central? Give it about 5 more seconds. Okay, and Charity, what is the answer? When is the application deadline? Let me share the results with you as well.
Yes. Still waiting for it to pop up.
We have about 22% that said 10:59 Eastern Standard Time, 56% said 12:59 EST, 11% said 11:59 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and we had 11% that said 9:59 Eastern Standard Time.
The correct answer is 12:59 a.m. EST. So please make sure that you're submitting your applications on time. I would urge you or your young person to submit your applications prior because you don't want to run into any technical difficulties at the last minute, like I did, worrying and scrambling, trying to submit things at the last minute. Don't be like me, submitting your application the day of. Do it a week before if you can. So some eligibility and frequently asked questions. Applicants must meet all of the following eligibility criteria, both at the time of application and enrollment during the fall 2025 term. So they must be a current college sophomore who plans to enroll full-time in their junior year of study at an accredited college or university in the fall of 2025. Eligible students are completing their sophomore year in spring 2025, which is the current academic year, or transferring from a 2 to 4 year college or university for their junior year. Junior is defined as having earned the needed number of credits at your institution to be considered a junior, or having at least 2 full years of enrollment remaining for earning your bachelor's degree. Again, you must demonstrate financial need, and like I said, it's calculated using a similar formula to the FAFSA. You must have a minimum of a 3.0 GPA on a 4.0 scale. Eligibility continued, you must have a demonstrated commitment to public service. And while this is not specifically defined, it's actually broadly defined. So for example, there was actually a Voyager from DC whose passion was for fashion. And so she connected her passion for fashion to pouring into young women who were incarcerated in the prisons. And so she sewed pads for the women in the prison. So as long as you can connect what you're passionate about to serving others, that is defined as public service. You must plan to pursue a career in public service upon graduation, and you must be a U.S. citizen, U.S. national, U.S. permanent resident, or holder of a permanent resident card, or an individual granted deferred action status under the Deferred Action for Childhood Arrivals program. For the program commitment, you must be able to fully commit to participating in once per month program, including one-on-one meetings with coaches that you're paired with and network connections, as well as developing an actionable summer voyage plan for your summer voyage. So some frequently asked questions: what is considered public service? It's any area of service where you're serving others from your area of passion. How many students will be selected to receive the Voyager Scholarship? 100 students will be selected, which is pretty much saying that the odds are in your favor, especially if you put your all in your application. A lot of scholarships usually only have a few selected applicants, so 100 should give you some encouragement to know, okay, the odds might be in my favor with this one. If you're selected, are you able to defer the scholarship award? No, you may not, under any circumstances. Are internships guaranteed as part of the summer voyage? No, they are not guaranteed, but you will be paired with a coach who will help you search for internships that are geared towards your specific area of public service. Thank you all so much for listening to me talk. I want to leave the floor open for any questions about my journey or about the Voyager Scholarship. There is a QR code here. If you scan it, it will take you to a list on the Obama Foundation website where you can see some more frequently asked questions and answers if you all want to take a scan of that. But if you have any serious pressing questions that I might not be able to answer, there's an email right here that you're able to use to ask those questions. So yeah, thank you all.
Thank you, Charity. That was fantastic. I appreciate you just telling us a little bit about where you're from, sharing your journey, and also giving us some details on the Voyager Scholarship. So I see many of you. Yep, great presentation here. Probably want to know a little bit more about what Charity is doing, know a little bit more about the application process. I see Ms. Medlock on, I see Ms. Nelson on, one of our CollegeBound folks, Miriam Smith on. Please feel free to unmute and ask Charity some questions. What questions do you have about the scholarship? And you can feel free to unmute if you'd like. Christian Hall. I see you put a question in the chat. Did you want to unmute or do you want me just to read that? Okay, no worries. So I see it says, thank you for being here and sharing your journey. How did you originally hear about the scholarship and what have you enjoyed most about the program?
Thank you so much for that question. I originally found out about the scholarship from my Spelman sister. She was the first person to tell me about it. And I was just like, nah. And then Miss Ayana emailed me and was like, I think this might be the one. She sent me that and another scholarship. And something about the Voyager scholarship, her sending that right, like almost a few days after my Spelman sister sent it to me, it just felt meant to be. So again, that relationship that we developed, whereas though she knew enough about me to know, yes, this is for charity, I had to apply and I got started right away. And since being a Voyager, oh man, there's so many amazing parts. I will honestly have to say the fall convening was amazing. I was able to develop some incredible relationships. Only 5 HBCU students were selected for this scholarship out of 100 students. And so I was really able to develop an amazing relationship with the 4 other HBCU students. So being able to connect with all the Voyagers, but them specifically, felt really affirming because, we're in a room where we're not the majority, but still our impact is felt and we're appreciated. And so seeing other Voyagers who aren't HBCU students honor that and celebrate us for that really was amazing. So just the relationships I've been able to cultivate with my fellow Voyagers has been the best part. And I cultivated such an amazing relationship that I'm actually traveling to Africa with one of my fellow Voyagers for my summer voyage experience. And so I would have to say that it's just an amazing time to connect people being a part of this opportunity.
Wow, that's amazing.
Thank
That
you.
sounds really, really good. And have you all selected a date yet for when you will travel?
Yes, we will be in Cape Town, South Africa from June 1st to June 30th of this year.
Wow,
Yes, thank
amazing. That's so wonderful. Okay, so we have another question in the chat. um, asking if you'll be able to share your presentation so they can share it out with others. Would you be willing to? Okay, great. So
you.
Tobias, I'll have Tobias send that out. So as you all respond back to the survey, I'll have Tobias send out an actual link to the presentation. So thank you for allowing us to share that with everybody. Uh, Let's see. Oh, you're a first year at Amherst College. Okay, wonderful. That sounds great. We have a question from Lene Nelson. She said, great presentation. Do you know about how many applicants apply each year?
Um, I don't know an exact number, but I remember at the convening, it was in the thousands. So I know a few thousands apply every year, but I'll have to
Hmm.
find that out. That way I can kind of brag, like, out of a couple thousand, you know.
Absolutely, absolutely. That's funny. That's great. Christian, a follow-up question. Could you talk more about your summer voyage? Yep, how you went about designing it and what you'll be doing.
Yes, of course. Well, first and foremost, Christian, congratulations on being a first year at Amherst College. Even though you're a freshman, sophomore year comes quicker than you think. And so keep the scholarship in your back pocket because when it's time to apply, you will remember that you attended this seminar and you were ready. Yes, about my summer voyage, I knew that my focus area was mental health, specifically suicide prevention among Black youth ages 14 to 24. And so it was a unique focus area. I knew that talking with my coach, I was able to brainstorm some possible organizations I could work with. But it was really my personal mentor who connected me with the opportunity that was best aligned with my passion, She was able to connect me to a nonprofit in DC called the Friendship Bench, and they do like bench therapy in the community of DC. And I really loved it because it started because of the connection the director had with losing a patient to suicide because they couldn't access mental health resources. And so I reached out to them. I sent a cold email and then they got back to me immediately the same day. And they actually originated in Zimbabwe. So an aspect of the voyage is global traveling. Like you have money to travel, travel. Don't just stay in your hometown. So I was like, I could go to DC, but you know what? I'm actually go to Zimbabwe too. So I'm really spending my whole summer in Africa. So just knowing where I wanted to go, I knew on my list, at the top of my list was traveling to Africa. I had to go to the motherland and just having opportunities attract to me that are based there. It felt like meant to be. And yeah, just they give you like a template to design everything you need to design. And honestly, you just follow the template, answer the questions. And I'll be volunteering at a music organization that teaches young people how to use music as a tool for self-healing. I'll also be volunteering at the Friendship Bench in Zimbabwe, learning about African-centered modalities for healing and just volunteering. Like I'm not getting paid to do anything, but it's fine because the stipend covers anything I want to pay myself. So yeah, I hope I answered your question, Christian.
Yeah, that's beautiful that you all are able to have that travel stipend so you can get out there and move internationally, and you won't have the lack of resources as a hindrance to really broadening your scope. So that's
Yeah,
beautiful.
thank you.
Okay, keep the questions coming. Any more questions um, for Charity? Thank you, Sharon, for joining us. Thank you, Maya. So I guess I'll kick off the next one. You talked about being able to, I guess, go to Chicago in December.
Mhm.
Were the Voyagers actually able to meet the Obamas?
So President Obama was in the room. We had a special session where he just kind of poured into us, acknowledged that we were recipients of the scholarship in his name. We were able to
Um,
meet the CEO of Airbnb, Brian Chesky, who is the co-founder of the scholarship. And sadly, Miss Michelle wasn't there, but you know, he was there. So that was really the amazing thing. Yeah.
nice, 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 nice. Okay, good. Any other questions for Charity, just about her journey or about the application process in general? Any questions?
I know. Okay, I see your question, Lene. I know each student is different, but is there an average time for completing the application? I would have to say it depends on the person. If you're someone who gets things done on time, you'll be perfectly fine. For me, even though I started out right away, like as soon as Miss Ayana sent me the email, like, yes, you should apply. Um, I started the same day, like I put in my little background demographic information, but then once I saw those essay questions and everything, I'm not gonna lie, I closed my computer because what are we doing? It was so overwhelming. So I would honestly say just start with just filling in your personal information and inevitably you'll find yourself like just reading through some of the questions. I would say it took me from February 20 maybe a month. I would say a month because I was sent the email from you like a week before the 12th of February last year. So I would honestly estimate it as a month, like a month. It takes a month for me because I was busy. I'm involved in a lot of stuff on campus, but just as long as you make time at least once a week, like you'll get it done. If you can only dedicate one day a week, I believe you can get it done. And also, if you can reach out to like a English professor, or if you have an academic center on campus where you can get help and get a peer review, please do that. The biggest help to me was reaching out to a professor I had freshman year. I told her about the scholarship. She was like, Obama, girl, we got to get this money by today. And so I was emailing her like, okay, does this sound okay? And we just had that relationship where she was able to tell me, you're not bragging enough, or you're underselling this. Like, you need to tell them exactly what you've been doing. So just reach out to a professor, someone you know is good in English, so they can help you make sure the wording matches with the story you're trying to convey. But just start, even if it's just creating your account, just start somewhere. Um, what was the
Good,
most
nice pro tip. I appreciate that because there are so many resources just right there on campus that students
Mhm.
don't even consider sometimes. So, the writing center, to your point of a previous professor that can give you some support, definitely you want to use those connections that you kind of organically have anyway. So I appreciate that.
Absolutely. I saw another question. What was the most challenging component of the application? For me, I would say aside from the prompts, which do take a lot of time, just imagine you have only a limited word count or you only have so many words, yet you have so much to tell. Again, so just making sure you take the time out to just also have a separate Google Doc. So like have a Google Doc with the questions pasted there so that you can brainstorm there. Because one time I was working directly in the application, my computer died, I lost everything. And I think that was like my best round of drafts for responses. Yes, like I lost everything. So make sure you have a Google Doc where you're writing your answers in. Aside from that being the hardest part, because again, you have a limited word count. Hardest part was the video. You only really have a few minutes, like 2 minutes, to really talk about who you are and answer the questions that they're asking you. And so I did my video, I don't know, it took me like 5 hours. I was literally in my room for 5 hours just recording my video, just deleting, recording, deleting, recording. So just have like on a piece of paper your answers, memorize them, again, I did my stuff at the last minute because I was so fixated on one area of the application. I didn't realize at the last minute, oh my gosh, this video, like that's where they see your face, they hear your voice, they hear who you are. And so that's the time. It was really most time consuming. So yeah, the video. Oh, I see another question. What do you think are good qualities that makes someone a good candidate? As long as you have a heart to serve, I believe that you're a candidate for it. A lot of people apply to scholarships just for the money. And I think when the opportunity is for you, and you know that you have a heart for service, it'll be for you, and if even if it's not, another opportunity will. I was rejected from so many scholarships until I got this one. And this was the one where it was like, okay, my heart, like everything in my heart knew I was a Voyager. So it was just all about moving and embodying the characteristics of a Voyager, which is essentially having a heart to serve. And I feel like as long as you convey that in your application, you'll be okay.
Really good point, Charity, having that heart to serve. Um,
Mm.
any other questions? Maya, are you a student?
Yes, I'm a student at Howard University.
Oh, HBCU, very good. And what year are you?
I'm a sophomore human performance major on a pre-PA track from Baltimore, Maryland.
All right. Thank you for coming on today. We appreciate you and congratulations on being at Howard University.
Thank you.
Any other questions for Charity? Definitely want to we have the inside track here with someone who's already won the scholarship. So if you have any other questions, please feel free. Thank you, Tobias. Tobias has also dropped a survey of today's trainer in the chat. So if folks can please fill that out, we will use those response emails to send out these slides. Any other questions for Charity?
Was a letter of recommendation required? No, that was my favorite part because it's solely you. Like they're looking at who you are, not who people think you are. You don't need a letter of recommendation. Aspect of the scholarship is you do need a transcript uploaded. It can be unofficial, but for me, I wanted my application to be pristine. So I requested an official transcript from my school. So if you do want to request that from your school, I would recommend it if you had the means, just to give your application a little more of a polished finish. But a
Mhm.
letter of recommendation was not required, no.
Okay, yeah, that's a good pro tip because sometimes those official transcripts take a little bit longer. So you want to give yourself some time to get that in.
Absolutely.
So Maya, are you considering applying?
Yes, I am.
Yay! Wonderful. Beautiful, beautiful. And
I'm
hopefully,
sorry. I'm still
Mhm.
walking around campus because I just got out of class, so it's a
Oh, it's
lot.
no worries. No, that's okay. That's okay.
Yeah, for the program, this is for the 2025 to 2027 school year. So you should be a current sophomore during this time if you're trying to apply, or next year if you're applying, you'll be a sophomore going into your junior year.
And so, do you know, is this the, are you all the third cohort, fourth cohort? How long has this scholarship been around in general? Are you guys the first cohort?
This is actually the third cohort. I'm a part of the third cohort, so it's fairly new,
Okay.
which is why it was so easy to think I could apply, because not the whole world doesn't really know about it, not like the other major scholarships. So it's just big enough, just small enough.
Yeah, that's a great point. Yep. So, that's a great point about competitiveness, right? If you can kind of get in on the ground floor, you
Mhm.
can definitely shine amongst the crowd. I will say only 100 for thousands of people that apply. That's still great kudos to you for being able to achieve this. So again, hats off to you for all your hard work and the video. Yes, videos.
Yeah.
Those videos are important because, like you said, you want to show your personality. You want to be personable, but also it'll give you a lot of time to really talk about who you are and share. So, the more you can kind of get that practice in for doing those videos, um, the better off you can be. And did you do that on your own, or did you have someone help you with that?
My video, when I recorded my video submission prompt, I didn't have any help. It was just me, honestly. Um, I think it helped to write my answers by hand on paper, trying to remember, because again, I did my video the night before it was due.
We don't
So
suggest that.
we don't suggest that. Like, you want to make sure you're doing your stuff beforehand so that you give yourself enough time to be successful. I feel like if I gave myself some more time, my video could have been even better, but I think it was just meant to be, because even though my video wasn't perfect or like amazing, mind blowing, it was just me being myself. And I think
Yeah.
authenticity is more important than sounding like a robot or sounding
Yeah.
perfect,
I agree. I agree. And I saw your video. Your video was good. I think it really showed it did show your personality and showed kind of who you were and how well you would fit probably among the other Voyagers is what they're looking at.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that um, to your point, that authenticity definitely came through. So
Mm.
don't sell yourself short on that. I think we had another question in the chat.
What opportunities have opened up for you after being part of this? Number one, the exposure to different networks. I've been able to connect with people in Atlanta doing holistic wellness work, because again, my focus area is mental health and wellness. And so being able to connect with other mental health practitioners or holistic wellness practitioners within the area has been amazing, because I eventually do want to leave a legacy on campus of introducing students to wellness. So just being able to be connected to various networks in Atlanta. Also at the fall convening, just being able to connect with other individuals in the room. There were individuals who worked at Nike, who did photography. Like, there were so many different individuals. And so if you have a passion for something, you're gonna find at least one other person in the room who can unlock a door to another room for you. But it's really about what opportunities you create for yourself. Like, are you putting yourself out there? Like, are you going to this fall convening, but you're shy and you're reserved? Do you expect someone to just walk up to you? No. Like 99% of the opportunities that have come to me is because I put myself out there. And so I would just say putting myself out there is what made opportunities come. It wasn't just like I was a Voyager and then boom, the whole world suddenly wanted to be in my business. No, like I still had to reach out to people and be willing to build community with other individuals.
Mm. And so, have you always just been outgoing, or do you have any pro tips for folks in terms of not just the Voyager fall convening, but in general, folks who are maybe college students or high school students who may be a bit more reserved? Are there any pro tips you want to give us about um, how to just kind of get started with networking and sharing your ideas?
Yeah. Number one, having a mentor who sees in you what you can't see in yourself. I consider, you, Miss Ayana, like one of my mentors because you're someone who I've been able to refer to whenever I need guidance on, you know, anything college related, especially the financial aid packages, because they were looking rough when we first started. But just having individuals who seeing you what you don't see in yourself yet, building relationships with your professors, and if you're in high school or I don't know, wherever you are, just telling someone what you're passionate about, just starting there. I remember in high school, I told a teacher I wanted to start a club. I never started the club, but eventually, like, I did start my own organization, and that individual connected me to resources to have funding for that organization. And so, telling at least one other person what you want to do, what impact you want to have in the world, starting there. I would also say believing in yourself, having faith in yourself. Like, you can't really expect externally from people to believe in you if you don't internally believe in yourself. And so just starting at home, like writing stuff on your mirror, like affirming yourself and reminding yourself who you are is really important. Um, yeah.
Good, I like that. I like that, affirming yourself.
Mhm.
Um, I do see we have a question. Do you have any idea what your third year internship will include?
Mm. My third year internship, as in like from my summer voyage.
Yes,
Oh, okay.
yes.
For my summer voyage, yeah, I had mentioned that I will be working with a nonprofit in Zimbabwe, Hawaii, Zimbabwe, in Africa, called the Friendship Bench, and they facilitate therapy through grandmothers. So they get the village grandmothers together, they put them on benches, and they allow the community to get free therapy sessions. And so I'll be learning from that model of how they offer therapy, and also learning from other holistic wellness practitioners in Africa. I'll be in Africa for the entire summer this year. And so just going from Zimbabwe to Cape Town to explore music as a healing modality for young people to there's somewhere else I'm going. Oh, Tanzania. I'm going to Tanzania to learn about how to help neurodivergent young people connect with themselves through being in nature. So being able to explore different aspects of wellness um, is really what every internship will encompass. But yeah, I hope I answered your question.
And then
Yes, thank you.
Of course.
Voyagers are also going to be traveling after graduation as well.
Yeah, so with this program, you do get a 10-year travel stipend. So every year for 10 years, you get $2,000 in Airbnb credits to cover, at least housing. I would have to outsource my flight ticket and other accommodations, but at least if I know I want to go to Africa again, I have my housing covered. And yeah, I will be continuing to travel. I had this whole elaborate plan of going all across the world. I wanted to go to Paris, I wanted to go to Africa, I wanted to go to Brazil. No, like the flights to travel are very expensive. And to tie that into the next question that I see, I chose to go out of the country because when I applied, I initially wanted to do like a wellness cohort with like different community members in Baltimore City. But after going to the fall convening in Chicago, hearing other Voyagers say, well, I'm going to Greece or I'm going to Thailand, I'm like, we can do that? Like, I forgot we could travel globally. And so again, I knew going to Africa has always been on my bucket list. And to tie that into my passion area of mental health, the opportunities, just everything was just in alignment. And so my advice to anybody on this call, whether you're applying to the scholarship or another one, make sure that you can find areas of alignment with that scholarship. If you're only doing it for the money, you will dread the process of applying. Like, it was at a point where I was just applying anything and I was exhausting myself and exerting unnecessary energy for scholarships that I knew I didn't care about for the sake of money. Now, sometimes you will have to do that, but I noticed during my sophomore year when I took a step back, I'm like, what am I passionate about? And what scholarships exist? I noticed opportunities were attracting to me because I wasn't chasing after money. I was chasing after my purpose. And so when you're doing that, opportunities will come. Even on campus, I got a academic scholarship. Like, you will be okay, you know? So any scholarship that you apply to, make sure that it is aligned with your passions. So if you're passionate about public service, this is a scholarship you should apply for. But if you're not and you're a STEM person, you're a STEM baddie and you want to go somewhere else, maybe check out Thurgood Marshall. You know, just think about all the factors. But the number one being, is this in alignment with what I'm passionate about? Because that's the most important thing.
Well said. Well said. I appreciate that. That's really, really good. Because there are a lot of scholarships out there, and there is a lot of push to just, try your best to just, as my daughter would say, just thug it out. And just, right? Rule of thumb, you usually get one scholarship for every 10 you apply for. But to your point, that passion will come through if it aligns with your purpose. So I appreciate you saying that. We have a question in the chat.
Yes, and looking at your fellow Voyagers, do you think that there was a specific major that seemed to be dominated for your particular class? Honestly, no. I feel like there was an even amount of journalism majors. This cohort, I don't believe we had any fashion majors, but I know the previous cohorts did, and they tied that into public service in some way, shape, or form. But there were a lot of um, everything, social work majors, psychology majors, health science majors. There were even some majors that I never even heard of, from larger universities. So there's a very diverse pool of majors in this program. And I think, yeah, don't let your major keep you from applying. If you can tie it into your heart for public service, fashion, cooking, whether it's equitable cooking classes for your community, or I don't know, find a way to make it work. If you really want it, make sure your heart is in it. Of course.
That's great. We are going to again drop the survey in the chat as we're rounding out the hour here. It's 11:47. We have time for about 2 more questions. Tobias, if you can drop that link in the chat to the survey for this presentation, that would be great. Now, you are the first, hopefully not the last, from Baltimore City to receive this Voyager scholarship. How did you find out that you were the first from Baltimore City, and how did it make you feel?
When I went to the fall convening in Chicago, one of the Obama Foundation staff had double bagged. First of all, it's so impressive, like how intentional they are when they pick people, because they knew me from the back of my head. One was like, Charity. I was like I didn't even have the same hair color as I did when I recorded my video, but she knew who I was. And so she was like, yeah, you're Baltimore City bound, right? Crystal Ray. I'm like, okay, this is federal, but I love it. But then she was like, yeah, you're actually our first Baltimore City bound Voyager. We haven't had any in the past cohorts. And, you know, it was a very surprising moment because I just thought, I'm just in the room, third Clark Atlanta Voyager to be selected, keeping the legacy going, but to be the first Baltimore City Voyager was just, I really didn't know what to say. Everyone around me was just kind of like, what? And like some people never even heard of our city. So to put us on the map in that way was incredible. And so it's definitely possible to receive the scholarship. It's definitely possible. If you believe in yourself in any scholarship, I believe you can do it. And if you don't get it, God forbid, there's an opportunity out there for you, because you get a lot of yes, a lot of no's before you get that yes that changes your life. And I got a lot of no's. And then I was going through it. But that yes, like, it was worth it.
Yes. Very good. I appreciate that. That's so good. Yeah. Well, you are the first. Hopefully, you will not be the last. It's important that all of us on this call let students know about it, let our networks know about it, so we continue to put our Baltimore City students on the map. It's important that we don't gatekeep, but actually spread the news. I know, Charity, that you are always good about supporting your peers throughout the process. Do you have any final words that you'd like to say for those of us who are stakeholders, adults working with Baltimore City youth, or to our current college students on the call?
Yes, to stakeholders, when it comes to college and career readiness, especially being that I am a first generation college student, so I am navigating a lot of uncharted waters. Just listen to what your young person is passionate about. And even if it's like super far-fetched, like Clark Atlanta, Miss Iona was not a fan. So at first, but then she hopped on the bandwagon when she saw, okay, this girl is
Wait, I'm gonna defend myself.
okay, go ahead.
So a little birdie told me that you had a full ride to another school that was in Maryland. So I just, the math wasn't mathing for me. So I just, but we spoke the first time. And between the first time we spoke and the second time we spoke, you spoke about how you were putting together a fundraiser to get yourself down to Georgia. And that's what triggered it for me. I said, she's a real deal. Charity has that grit necessary to do a step above what the average student is doing to get what they want and get the goals met. So that was super important to me. So that's when I have to admit, jump on the bandwagon. I said, listen, even if it's not fall, maybe it's Clark Atlanta in the spring. It's not always an all or nothing situation. Let's look at a couple different versions of how this might look, a plan A, B, and C. So admittedly, I was not on the bandwagon in the beginning, no, but definitely your influence and your persuasion sort of brought me around.
Yes. So just, of course, being that space of reason for that young person to the stakeholders, providing them with their options. And again, being that voice of reason, because I did need to know that that other school was an option. I needed to know that I had a backup. But for me, it really was an all or nothing thing, because I knew in my heart, like, that was where I belonged. And so just not being afraid to build collaborative relationships with other nonprofits. It's really no need for competition. When we all interweave our resources together to support and uplift young people, I believe that we can see more young people like myself get these prestigious scholarships or pursue paths that are anchored in whatever their passion is. To the scholars on the call right now, whether you're a freshman, sophomore, junior, or senior, whatever year you may be in, believe in yourself. This scholarship was truly a test of my faith in myself, but also my faith in God. And I would be remiss if I didn't say my faith in God is the reason why I'm able to be here and be fully funded. So have faith in yourself. If you don't have a faith in a higher power, definitely have faith in yourself, because you can do it. And it's just all about how much are you willing to do? Like, how much work are you willing to put in for your goals and for your dreams? You have to turn out the noise. There were so many people who told me, Obama, that's a little big. Like, you might not want to go for that. There was some people who really supported it, but still had some doubts. But I believed in myself, and I had a small group of people around me telling me almost every day, you're a Voyager. Like, you're this, you're that. So tell yourself who you are before you're it, because when you step into it, I was already this. Like, I'm coming to Chicago. I knew I was a Voyager. Like, I knew what I was before I was even here. And so when you move with faith in yourself, you'll be okay. And again, money isn't everything. Like, I did start off with loans, but as I got more external scholarships, they were coming down significantly. And so don't let a no deter you. Like, be sad about it. Keep going. There's money out there. Bully your college financial advisor. Not bully, but like let them know your face. Because I would come to the financial aid office every day and I got a academic scholarship finally. And so just be relentless. Show up as the person you want to be. And at the end of the day, that is the impression that will be left on whoever was witnessing you in that moment. So just believe in yourself. Dethrone the loan. Like, start off with loans, but you will not end with them. Like, and if you
Yes.
do, it's a journey. Like, you'll be okay.
Yeah, I stole that from UNCF actually. Dethrone the loan. We have one last question before we close out. Was there an interview process before you were selected?
So there is no interview process. The closest to an interview you get is your 2-minute video. So you really want to show off who you are. There was a long process. So from March until August was the waiting period to finding out if I was a Voyager. There's like a preliminary round where you find out if you're going on to the finalist round. And around that time, it's like May. So between March and May, you're waiting to find out if you're a finalist. You find out if you're a finalist between July and August. And so it's just a long waiting time. But I feel like once you get to the finalist round, you at least know they saw something in you. You know,
Yes.
like you made it here. Like you're someone worth believing in. And even if you don't make it to that round, you applied. You did it.
Yes. That's beautiful.
Yeah.
I do want to thank you again. I appreciate you so much for taking the time. I know this is your junior year. You're in the thick of it, trying to make that journey towards graduation. So I appreciate you. I know sometimes an hour of time is just so much when we're so busy. Thank you again, Charity. We are inspired by you and in all that you've accomplished. I'm going to actually ask Charity if you're able to stay on. Maya, are you able to stay on? Charity, would you be willing to just kind of connect with Maya offline a bit?
For sure.
Appreciate that. Thank you so much. Again, one last time, if you all can please respond to the survey. Based on those emails, I will send out the slides for Charity's, a link to Charity's slides. Definitely want to do that. Thank you so much for being on today. We appreciate that. Thank you, Sharon Edwards. Good to see your face. Thank you all for joining us. Charity, stay on. I'm going to try to connect you with Maya.
Gotcha.
Thanks, everyone. Don't forget to fill out the survey link. Oh, thank you.
Thank you.
Maya, are you still on?
Yes.
Hey, there you are. How's it going? You're not in class, are you? Okay, you back.
No.
Okay. All right. Yes. How'd you hear about us today?
My lacrosse coach and mentor, he knows that I've been like struggling with paying for school, and he was like telling me about the opportunity. But I actually been found out about the opportunity because I know like 2 of our Howard people won the program, and I seen Obama and got discouraged. So I never like thought anything of it. But my lacrosse mentor, when he was telling me about all the things, and I read that like Charity was doing like a meeting today, and I'm like, I went to school with Charity in high school, so I'm like, oh, this is cool. And I'm like, maybe if I'm like, it kind of like encouraged me because I feel like if she could do it, then maybe I could do it and stuff like that. So like I was just like, I'm gonna come see her about the meeting.
That sounds beautiful. And you are a sophomore, you said?
Yes.
And what is your major?
Human performance, but it's only because it's more like I like the track, and not that I actually want to go into sports medicine. I'm actually more passionate in like African American health disparities and like women's health, and I'm planning to become a physician assistant. So it's just I like the human performance track so I can get my prerequisites for school, for PA school and more.
Okay. Okay, that sounds good. All right, I'm gonna go on mute. Charity, I need to be quiet. You do the talking, Charity. And actually, Charity, I'm gonna make you a co-host as well. So if I have to hop off, I gotta hop off in about 20 minutes to head to a school in South Baltimore. So I'm also gonna make you a co-host, Charity, okay? Just give me 1 second. Y'all go ahead. I'm going on mute.
Okay. Hey Maya, I'm not gonna lie. When you were asking your questions in the chat, I was like, this is probably not the same Maya.